My understanding of what it meant to be a lukewarm Christian has completely changed in the last 2 weeks because my old understanding of what it meant to be a lukewarm Christian, or when a pastor would say, you have to pick a side, you have to be on the right side, you have to be on the left side, you can't be in the middle, you're being lukewarm, and lukewarm is the worst place for you to be. I used to think that it meant that you have to choose to believe in Jesus or not. You have to choose to make sin like your overwhelming master or not. It made me feel like maybe you shouldn't be going to you have to choose to not go to the club or not. And to a certain degree, yes, but my understanding of what a lukewarm Christian has changed because I felt like it's become way deeper than I thought. And I'm shooting this video maybe because somebody else is at the same exact kind of crossroad when it means lukewarm Christian or not. So let's talk about it.
Marathon, yeah, say that to me, yeah, say that. Yeah, say that to me, oh marathon. You can say that to me, yeah, say that. You can say that to me, marathon. Yeah, say that.
Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, this episode is brought to you by Nutrishop Parker. It is your one-stop shop for high-quality supplements, protein powders, and wellness products that actually deliver. Whether you're building muscle, burning fat, or just trying to feel better every day, Nutrishop's expert team can help you find what works best for you. If you're local to Colorado, stop by their Parker location for a personalized experience. And if you are tuning in anywhere in the USA, use code BRANDON at checkout for free shipping on your order. Fuel your goals the right way, the Nutrishop way. All right, let's go. So basically it starts early November. I'm, doing very well in real estate, doing well in music, things like that. And God told me just randomly after some prayer, because, I'm really always trying to get better in my spirituality, get better with my relationship with Jesus and understand him and what he wants for my life to the best of my ability. So last November 2024, he said, stop posting on social media about your real estate business. Because I do a lot of my business through social media and it's been great. And he said, stop posting about social media for 30 days. And I was like, okay, no problem. But by that third day, it was pretty tough. I was like, maybe he didn't mean a full 30 days, or maybe he meant I could still post about real estate, but maybe I just want to accept clients during that time or whatever. I was trying to find little loopholes and little things in there that made what I was doing make more sense to me. So eventually, through some prayer, it was very clear. He said, stop posting on social media about real estate for 30 days. Then about 3 weeks into the 30 days, I was in more prayer, and he basically said, okay, so now that you've done 3 weeks of it, can you do longer? And I'm like, man, God, my business is through social media. If I stop posting, people are going to not use me for the services and I might lose my house or I might whatever. You have to do a repetitive thing. You have to keep being in front of people, right? And you have to keep posting because that's the nature of the business of social media is, out of sight, out of mind. And he was like, can you do another 30 days? And I was like, okay, sure. So December, I didn't post. Then I set my own parameter. I was like, okay, so January 1st, I'm back to posting. I'm back to talking about real estate. I'm such a good disciple. I listened to God. He said 30 days, and then he said another 30. Yes, I did it. But then on January 1st, I'm back on it. I'm back in business, and we're back going full throttle in this real estate business and posting. So I did, and I posted a little bit, and I was like, something's off. Something's not the same as it was in October. And I couldn't really put my finger on it. I was like, okay, God, did you mean for me to start in January? Because that's the one thing I did not ask. Although I was praying and he said, don't post, he never really said, he said, can you do another 30 days? But he didn't say, go back into the full swing of things in 30 days. He just said, can you do another 30 days? So as I'm looking for this situation, I'm like, God, what are you really trying to tell me? What are you really trying to tell me? Because I want to trust you, and I want to keep my house, and I want to make money, and I want to be able to fund the projects that I do and the music that I do and the videos that I do. And what I found is the past few years, it's worked pretty well. It's worked pretty well through social media, getting my funding and doing my job through social media. So then, I don't know exactly when he said it. I'm assuming it was about February or so, after I didn't post in January. God, in prayer, told me, your finances are okay. I'm taking care of your finances moving forward, so just do what I say to do. I'll come back to that point, because what he told me to do, along with not posting on social media for real estate, he said back in November 2024, he said, I just want you to do your vlog, your YouTube video every single day. Just that. You don't have to post on TikTok, Facebook, real estate posting. You don't do any of that. Just do your vlog every day. And he didn't say what to talk about. He just said make a YouTube video and vlog every day. And I started off, if you were early on the channel, I started off by doing I was like, okay, so what do I do daily? And I work out daily. So, I had a microphone in the gym and I would film myself in my workouts, and that was good for about a month or so, until about the late December time. Then it kind of transitioned to, okay, so maybe I could vlog about my real estate work, because I'm still working in real estate. But if I'm vlogging and I happen to put real estate in there, maybe I'll, be able to circumvent certain things like that. So you see how my brain was working in January. Then it kind of transitioned to what we have now, which is more like sometimes it's current events, sometimes it's my thoughts, sometimes it's different like concepts and things I'd like to think about. But what it kind of turned into, amongst many different things, was although I always saw myself as somebody being very consistent, I realized there's a lot of flaws in my consistency game. It's very difficult to do something every single day without fail, and without having proper understanding of why you're doing it, right? Because I don't get a lot of views on my YouTube, and at the beginning that was bothering me. I was like, well, okay, let me start talking about current events. Let me start talking about working out. What's trending? Let's start because I don't like to do things for no reason, right? In my own understanding. Then it kind of transitioned to, there's a lot of freedom in doing things for no reason. Because if I'm not chasing views, if I'm not chasing a check or money or whatever it is, and I still have to do it daily, what would change in how I approach that work? So that's something that's been burned into my head a little bit. So kind of what I'm preparing for you guys is, you've already seen how, even though I'm acting obedient to what God was doing, I wasn't fully submitting to what he was having me do. So that's the lukewarmness, right? That's the beginning of the foundation of lukewarmness. Then something crazy happened. He was like, crazy to me. He was like, okay, so basically, thank you for following my command or my request of you. He says, can you stop listening to Drake's music for however long? He didn't give me a time frame on this one. He said, stop listening to Drake's music. And anybody who knows me, I'm like the biggest Drake fan. I genuinely think he is like the most talented dude who's ever touched a microphone, right? In terms of writing, his hooks, his delivery, his structure, his execution. I think that there's very few people, if no one, is as talented as Drake. And this is during a lot of the hype of before the Super Bowl, a lot of the Drake Kendrick beef. And I was like, I gotta defend my boy. I gotta listen to the boy, right? And he was like, don't listen to Drake anymore. And it made me sad. And I was like, am I soft? I was like, what's going on? I'm sad I can't listen to some dude's music. So that cued me in. I was like, why is this bothering me? It's just music. It's just a dude. I was like, is there something in there that I'm valuing to a higher degree than what I should be valuing it as? So then I stopped listening to it. And then it kind of transitioned to a bunch of different things. Now when the Sinners movie came out, I was like, you know what? Although Michael B. Jordan is, in my opinion, like a A-lister, and Ryan Coogler's been very talented, and the movie looks great, and my favorite genre of movies is horror movies, which might be a problem in itself. But something about it was like, okay, so it comes out a week before Easter, and during the Easter season, everyone's talking about, have you seen Sinners? Oh my God, Sinners is so good. And this, and I'm seeing that over my social media, and something about it is just rubbing me the wrong way. I'm like, I don't like seeing the name, the description, whatever, Sinners, just all flooding my timeline during Easter season. So then I was thinking, I was like, why did they make this movie? Why did they choose to have this movie come out during this season? Ryan Coogler basically got in his contract that I've read that he got some things that filmmakers never get, meaning that the rights to Sinners comes back to him in 25 years, and he gets to own it basically in perpetuity, which is unheard of. Like typically when a studio commissions you to do these movies and you're the director, and they buy the script from you and they buy the rights, and Paramount owns it, Warner Brothers owns it. So I'm saying all that to say that if he wanted to release this movie not in the Easter season, he had more than enough power to do so. I would not believe it if he said that he could not release it in a month later or 2 months later, like delay the movie for something. Because on my Facebook, I was arguing with people ahead of this movie, and I was like, this is strange, guys. Like, is no one noticing what's going on? And everybody was like, oh my gosh, you're tripping. They are believers. Ryan Coogler's a believer. He's a believer. Like, you're reading into it. This is a conviction that you have. Stop putting your convictions on other people, when all I was really doing is asking questions. And I was making a statement saying, like, I don't think I'm going to go see it during an Easter season. But people were getting triggered over that. So I was like, okay, let's take note of that as well. So as we're taking note of the Sinners in Easter season, obviously it came out that Michael B. Jordan himself identifies as a Babaluge, or whatever what do they call it, Babalu or something? And it's like the Ifa religion, and he's not a Christian. And then Ryan Coogler was telling stories about how his uncle introduced him to jazz music, and the movie's like an ode to that type of spirituality and that type of like structure, and it's just not Christian the way that he was explaining it. And I was like, okay, well, this is on purpose that they're releasing it during the Easter season, because these are not Christians who are doing it. I was like, okay, so in the middle of God saying, stop posting, do your vlog every day, stop listening to Drake, and I felt convicted myself to not watch the Sinners movie, and I'm not going to watch it. Then I kind of looked at it like, okay, does being lukewarm as a Christian mean more than I thought it did? Like, I don't like to say it like this, but like, I go to church, I'm active in church, I sing in my church, I believe it, I pray behind closed doors, in front of the closed doors. I live a lifestyle of a Christian. I'm not sitting behind closed doors and then getting in front of people and acting like I'm holier than thou. Like I believe it, I want it, I'm after it, I'm chasing it. It's reflected in everything that I do. But still, I'm finding myself in a lukewarm position, right? I'm finding myself as a lukewarm Christian. So what does it mean? What does it really mean to say, Jesus is my God? Because I think one thing that hit me really strangely last week is I was praying and I was saying the word, like, Father God. And then I stopped and I was like, am I just saying God because I'm calling him God because it's his name? Am I using the word God as a name? Like Bobby, Chet, like God? Or do I understand that the word God actually has its own meaning? Like, it literally means God, omniscient, all-seeing, like my master. I am a servant, I am a slave, I am underneath, I am beneath this thing I call my God, this man, this God, right? And I started approaching my prayers a little different, and it's a title, Lord, like my Lord, my God. These are titles, this is not his name. So I was like, okay, what does it really mean to have this, to call someone my God, to call God my God? And it means that my life is not my own. It means that whatever I'm after, it means that when I get up and I work, to me, when I get up and I work, it means that when I go out into the world, when I'm suffering, when I'm happy, when I'm setting out to do good things, like whatever the situation is, it means that I have to do my master's bidding in those activities. It means that when I go out and I help someone who's fallen, I don't want to tell a story, but something happened where I pulled over on the side of the road, I helped someone who had fallen. I'm doing my master's bidding. That was not Brandon deciding to be a good Samaritan and therefore did a good deed because it's the right thing to do. No, it means I did my Father's work. It means I acted in a way that my master wanted me to act. I'm doing my master's bidding. In the same way that when someone comes and does bad things to you, steals, rape, kills, whatever it is, they're doing their master's bidding. Because if you think about it, you can't serve two masters. You've heard these sayings before. Like, your humanity is always serving something. And sometimes when you serve something, you have no choice but to serve it, right? So let me paint the picture for you guys real quick. A lot of sermons, if you are a Christian listening to this, you've heard this before, that sin is bondage. If you can't escape your sin. Sin wants you in totality. Sin is here to put you in chains. And then as I've talked to sinners before, and obviously I'm a sinner, right? And I've engaged in sin, and I've been in the lifestyle, and I've talked to people about God in the middle of sin. They never really see sin as bondage until they try and stop, right? The difference is, in this, I think that this is overall what a lot of pastors and sermons and people are trying to get across, is that Jesus is a willful acceptance. It is a willful, you have to accept, believe, and it is under your own will. You have free will to do it. But with sin, you don't really have free will. And I know you think you do. So the best example, and this is the best example, I would challenge someone to have a better example than this. In 2025, it's almost as if people have no choice but to have sex. Meaning that there is no, obviously, if you're a liberal, you already believe this, whether you know you believe it or not, is if there's Planned Parenthood situations and abortions, people are fighting for abortion rights for women instead of just advocating that women stop having sex, that men stop having sex, that they stop engaging in an activity that can more than likely create a life. Instead, they're kind of approaching this well, you already know we're going to be having sex regardless. There's no question. We can't just not have sex. So instead, let's go ahead and fight for abortions. Right? So that's something that I was okay, that's what I mean when I say the serving of a master, meaning that sex is the majority of people, American in 2025, that's their master. That is something they are going to do, cannot not do, and are going to do it. They're going to keep engaging in the activity, and there's no such thing as not doing it. It's not even on the table. Have you tried to stop? And if you don't believe me, have you tried to stop? How long have you made it? What did you have to put in the space of sex to get it out of your brain? Because a lot of people, whenever they stop an activity, they pick up something else. And that's not truly what it means to stop something. You've just masked it, you replaced it, but the real root of why you're doing it has not been addressed. So that's what I'm talking about. So you can't serve two masters. Could I stop going to church indefinitely? Could I stop living a lifestyle of trying to be sinless? Easy. It's because it's way harder to stop. My nature wants to sin. My nature wants to have sex. My nature wants to do things. So it would be very difficult to not choose to fight against my nature. So that's kind of what I'm saying about all this situation, about the serving to masters. So I'll get back to the point. about being lukewarm. It's the choice is now deeper than I thought it was when it means, are you going to choose God or are you going to choose the world? So again, let me reframe it again. Real estate, Drake, Sinners movie. I think there was another one, but real estate basically sums up my finances. And as a young man, I know that the majority, if not every single young man who's not already excelling and well off, they're hyper focused on their finances, meaning that there's almost, if not entirely, no peace when you don't have money. So in my pursuit of being well off, I've been blessed enough to have a system in real estate where I actually am making money during this time. And not a lot of people are. And God is asking me to not keep the system going, which is a big ask in 2025 with the state of the economy. Like, I have a house. It's not cheap. I pay a lot for this bitch. So it's like God is asking me to give him that. Give him that. Out of anything else I could have gave him. And then he said, stop listening to Drake. Although finances is a big thing, one of the big reasons why I'm here, he told me at 16, is a life of performance. Music, I love singing. I do that a lot. I've been in 40 musicals. I make movies. I love all that type of creativity. So the number one dude who I'm looking at in terms of music, he says, stop listening to. Okay, and then I love making movies and I love acting. I think the craft of acting is one of the most interesting things ever. And even more interesting than that is filmmaking. And then the hottest new movie comes out with the blackest, our people doing our thing. And I heard it's incredible. And he says, and it's in the Easter season, it's called Sinners. And I'm convicted. I can't watch it. So it's like all the areas of my life that I have a lot of focus and pride and love and reverence and work in, he's saying, give it to him. What does it look like to really give God everything? And it's not going to look like this for you. It may not look like this for you because I guess more of like a slight backstory is like, I guess I've realized I have an uncomfortable and an unhealthy relationship to work. I love to work. I believe in work. I believe in hard work. I'm not afraid of hard work. I wake up, work, sun up, sundown every day. I don't take days off. Like, I love work, but I never thought that I would get to the point where I love work more than I love God. I love work more than the God who puts me to work. I love work more than what it means, like what work produces. I just love work. So as God is having me stop working and he's saying, just do your vlog every day, do nothing else. It makes me feel like a bum, right? It makes me feel like I'm no longer in control of my life. Like my life is tumbling down in a place where, like, it's hard to explain, but I think you guys are understanding because I'm trying to paint the picture as best I can. But it's a strange feeling to understand that my master, my God, is saying, no work today. Take today off. But my relationship to work is, it used to be like, okay, I'm going to work. I'm going to be the best. I'm the best worker. You can trust me with anything. I'm after it. I can lift a heavy load, whatever it is. But God is saying, take a seat. I don't need you to work today. But I thought how everybody gets what they get is through work. I thought if you want to be successful like The Rock, you have to be the hardest working person in the room. I thought that if you wanted to be a man after God's own heart like David, you work and you pray and you share and you grow, and it's about work as well. But it seems like it may not be. And that's very disruptive to somebody like me who loves to work. So as he's saying, don't, and he's saying do. That's just one do out of the 70 do's I like to do. What does it mean to be a lukewarm Christian? I found myself sneaking work. I'm like, maybe I'll just do a little bit of this, or maybe I'll just lift this thing a little more than he said to lift it. Like, and it's fascinating. It's fascinating how where I've come from and who I am today in terms of what does it mean to trust God? What does it mean to be lukewarm? What does it mean to call someone my God? Right? So I think the point of this is that maybe if this audio has helped you look at your relationship with Jesus with just a little bit thicker of a lens, a little bit more direct, a little bit deeper look into why is he asking you to do what he's asking you to do? Why is your life going the way it's going? Are you pursuing the things you want to pursue because you want to, or because he wants you and he is your master, meaning that why do we do the things that our master does not want us to do? Would he be pleased if we do extra when he only needs us to do a little bit? I think that everything's worth a conversation. Everything's worth a thought process. So if you've gotten anything from this video, it's just take a closer look at what he's asking you to do. Because in just the few months that he's asked me to do certain things, and I feel like I've been decently obedient in that, I feel like I've gotten a lot of insight into what may be to come in my own life. And what does it look like to trust him with the things that I wouldn't trust anybody with, right? So until next time.
Yeah, say that to me. Yeah, say that. Yeah, say that to me. Oh, marathon. You can say that to me. Yeah, say that. You can say that to me. Marathon.